Hi, Reject Nation. I'm Greg Alba.
John is me.
You know what's hot right now? Sean Connery.
Love him.
Everyone's been going, we need Sean Connery back, man.
Uncle Billy, where's he at?
He would have fixed Crystal Skull. We're still thinking about that, aren't we? Oh, man, why didn't he make a cameo in Daniel Craig's last Bond movie? Where is Sean Connery?
Where's the sequel to Zardoz?
You know who wants Sean Connery back is a man named Mikhail Linden. Over at our Patreon, one of our top reward tiers, whatever video you request, we must definitely do. Currently booked up reward tier, so Mikhail, you just made the cut, buddy. Top 10 Sean Connery performances from WatchMojo.com. I'm excited to check this out because I'm a huge Connery fan.
You're a Connery.
Connery sons. Oh, it's some of their older videos, so it's probably less hate.
When you think of living legends, this man comes to mind with a career
Wait to be impressed.
50 years.
I'm very sure that you don't have to draw on my past experience
Very sure.
to formulate your conclusions, Lord Bernardo.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down
Finding
our picks
Forrest
for the
Whitaker.
top 10 Sean Connery performances.
The Rock.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
San Francisco. Room service.
I heard he hated working with Michael Bay.
Give me snacks, drinks.
Number 10, Robert MacDougal, Entrapment.
You're the most beautiful crook I've ever seen.
Thank you, kind sir.
As Mac, Connery gets the chance to play the ladies' man some 30 years after his heyday as a sex symbol. He proves he's as witty as ever when he and Catherine Zeta-Jones attempt to pull off an art heist worth $8 billion.
He is hot.
What is this stuff we are downloading?
For
We
most
are
of the film,
downloading.
it's unclear on whether she's truly working against him or with him, but half the fun is watching the sparks fly.
3, 2.
Oh, that's when they made this famous. Going through the lasers. Yeah.
Number 9, Daniel Dravit, the man who would be king.
Ooh.
We've been all over India. We know her cities, her jungles, her jails, and her palaces. And we have decided that she isn't big enough for such as we.
Based on a Rudyard Kipling story, Connery's character, British Sergeant Daniel Dravit, seeks fortune in Kafiristan, a land outside the reach of the British Empire. He and his fellow soldier, portrayed by Michael Caine, convince the natives that he's a god.
They think I'm a god?
The far-fetched lie is made believable by the ease of the two men's on-screen and real-life friendship.
Suppose you got killed, eh? Suppose you're not. Where would I be at?
What happened again?
See it done. What'd you carry that arrow around for?
But between that and the humor, we're on the edge of our seats to see if their secret will be discovered.
Am I a dog or a god? Haven't I put the shadow of my hand over this country? Do as I say, send for the girl. Tell them what's wrong.
You ever negotiated with the Japanese before?
Rising Sun.
Oh,
Perhaps I can suggest a strategy.
Number 8, Captain John Connor, Rising Sun.
John Connor.
Time.
Throughout his career, Connery has always taken chances on roles, and this one is no exception.
Steve.
While critics gave it mixed reviews, fans loved watching Connor investigating the murder of a prostitute. It's exhilarating to see how he pieces together the clues from the murder scene and uses knowledge of Japanese affairs as a way to pinpoint the killer.
The Japanese have a saying, fix the problem, not the blame. Find out what's f***ed up and fix it.
Plus, his on-screen bond with Wesley
good-
Snipes is both
good
unexpected
philosophy.
and fun to watch.
Golf is how they do business.
This is very important for what I do. Well, I guess that makes everything all right now, doesn't it?
King Arthur, First Night.
I am Arthur of Camelot.
He's got the best modern day haircut.
All
Oh, this is when freaking Richard Gere was Lancelot.
to fight!
Oh,
Yeah, I remember this movie.
There's something about Connery that exudes a refined, grand nature.
Am I right about
it's
that?
no surprise he was perfect for the role of this legendary
they'll
king.
let us know.
There's a peace that's only to be found on the other side of war. If that battle must come, I will fight it.
And
While
my
some of the
axe.
cast
Yep.
struggled to look like they belonged in Camelot, Connery was commanding in every scene, and audiences found themselves rooting for his marriage and love for Guinevere, despite what the history books say.
Gwynny.
Marry the king, Guinevere. That's not the man.
Highlander! Ooh. Damn.
Number 6.
Forgot about all these
Sanchez
awesome
and
ass
Ramirez,
Sean Connery movies.
Highlander.
Spain.
Because you were born different, men will fear you.
This wasn't one of Connery's smash hits, but we can safely say that his portrayal of Ramirez is a major reason the movie became a cult classic.
yeah.
The film jumps back in time to trace Ramirez's life as an immortal, and we see how he eventually becomes a mentor to the Highlander.
You must learn to conceal your special gift and harness your power until the time of the gathering.
The sci-fi flick
Magic
is different
gathering.
from Connery's other roles,
Who is
but
that
it
villain?
just goes to show he's got range.
How do you fight such a
Like the actor?
With heart, faith, skill. In the end, there can be only one.
Number 5. John Patrick Mason, The Rock.
You're not soft. Let's find out.
Connery seems to be the only man who becomes more of a badass as he ages.
Yeah,
When
I
given
was
chance
just
to
thinking
be
that.
a prisoner of Alcatraz, accused of being an MI6 agent, Connery
Whoa.
inadvertently plays a pseudo-reincarnation of his James Bond character.
I want a suite, a shower, a shave, and the feel of a suit.
This movie is less refined than his 007 days, but boy is it fun to see him kicking ass and packing heat as he attempts a reverse prison break.
You stand by the door until I open it. I'd like to know how you plan on accomplishing that.
Through here.
Number 4. Jimmy Malone, The Untouchables.
Oh man.
You know I had a gun.
You bring a gun to a knife fight.
What do you want? 3 less than
No,
police
a
work?
knife to a gunfight.
Inside a star-studded cast that features Robert De Niro
He won the
and
Oscar
Kenneth
for this.
Costner, Connery has no problem holding his own. As Jim Malone, he's the tough but paternal Irish-American cop who assists Elliot Ness in his pursuit of the notorious Al Capone.
Want to get Capone? Here's how you get him. He pulls a knife, you pull a gun.
Look at that De
He
Palma
sends
shot.
one to the
Such a
house
such a
and
De
he's
Palma
along.
shot.
Split diopter.
And that's how you get Capone.
Thanks to his powerful portrayal, Connery was awarded his first and only Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, and earned a career resurgence as well.
Isn't that just like a wop?
Oh.
Brings a knife to a gunfight.
That's the line.
Oh, is it? Did I miss it?
Get
Oh.
out of here, you giggle bastard!
Number 3. Professor Henry Jones,
Yes.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
The quest for the Grail. It's not archaeology. It's a race against evil.
Indiana Jones is an iconic character, but
It's crazy
the
how
installment
like
franchise,
great
it's
their
Connery
chemistry is in this movie, you know?
without
Like
Dr.
this
Jones.
is so good.
Discuss this later.
They've mailed it to the marks, bro. Will you take it easy? Take it easy? Why do you think I sent it home in the first place? So it wouldn't fall into their hands?
In reality, the two men are only 12 years apart in age, but the chemistry between Harrison Ford and Connery is perfect. It's easy to believe the two are father and son, as the elder repeatedly calls Indy Jr. to annoy him.
I came here to save you. Oh, yeah? And who's gonna come to save you, Junior? I told you.
The duo is a match made in cinematic.
Don't call me Junior.
Number 2. Captain Marco
Oh,
Radius,
yeah.
The Hunt for Red
This is when he plays a Russian.
Russian.
We celebrate the
I wonder what his number 1 pick is gonna be.
characters we've ever seen.
Who knows? Could be Uncle Billy.
Out of rolls, right?
Could be Uncle Billy.
Plans to attack or defeat.
He's defecting.
Oh, young Baldwin.
Can't change his
Oh
mind.
yeah.
Young Alec. Super young.
He's not going to change his mind. You willing to bet your life on that?
And now that's John Krasinski.
Connery's poker face is just that good. It's a tense viewing experience you can't resist getting sucked into, no matter how many times you've seen this film. Besides, a Russian with a thick Scottish
Sam Neill.
accent, who else could make that work?
Anatoly,
You're afraid of our fleet.
Don't worry, he plays a British with a thick Scottish accent. He plays a Spaniard with a thick Scottish accent.
He plays. Oh no, that was John Wayne was Genghis Khan. Never mind.
Before we unveil our #1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Finding Forrester.
Contest at school, this writing thing.
I know my Connery.
Writing contest?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get the next honorable mention
A long
wrong.
time ago.
Please say League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Coming.
Of course I
We've gone through his whole filmography practically.
Like money or something?
The Pulitzer.
Yep, done.
Oh
This is-
snap!
Not commit suicide.
Don't you understand? I found a cure for the plague of the 20th century, and now I've lost. Haven't you ever lost anything, Dr. Bronx?
I've designed this like a collapsing bag.
Oh yeah.
MacDougal here has agreed to man the wireless in order to give the Germans something to listen to. And all the padres and the medical staff have volunteered to stay behind as well. Now the wounded, who are too bad to move, will replace the men firing. So our defense will seem as before. By the time the Germans find out what's happening, we should all be safely across the river. Pleasant journey.
Capt.
Here it is.
#1.
I admire your luck,
Bond.
Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
James Bond.
Like only young role.
I know. The only role where his hair is actually brown.
All the other ones are just like so old.
Silver Fox Connery.
And then you got this one right here.
We're not even going to attempt to debate who the best Bond is. But like any former 007 actor knows,
George
this level
Lazenby.
is-
Yeah, definitely.
Who are you?
Pussycat.
My name is Pussy Galore.
Ah, Galore. Fuck, I fucked it up.
Aw, you ruined
Sorry,
everything.
Mikhail.
Must be dreaming.
James Bond.
How'd you miss that?
I had 20 more minutes to finish that movie 3 months ago.
Shocking.
Shocking.
But after an impressive audition and some persuasion, he starred in 7 Bond films and set the gold standard for all super spies to come.
Good evening, sir.
Happens to be 3 a.m. When do you sleep, 007?
Never on the ground, sir.
Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite Sean Connery performance? For more exceptional top 10s published daily, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Make sure when your shift is over, you go home alive. Here endeth the lesson.
It's good advice. It's a good lesson.
Ah man, some good Sean Connery. I knew a little bit more than I expected.
Yeah, don't
I'm
underestimate
like,
yourself.
there's probably
James.
a lot of deep cuts I don't really know, do I? You know?
Hey, man, the most iconic Connerys are probably the ones that you've heard a lot about. I remember a few of these from like my youth, and they stood out so prominently that yeah, I recognize more than I thought I would too.
He is someone who does get better with age. I'll never forget when Wesley Snipes popped up for Rising Sun. I remember there was some interview when Conan had Late Night with Conan O'Brien, and he was talking about how Sean Connery told him that whenever he did the driving scenes as like 007 or even some car scenes in Rising Sun, he would just take off his pants because it would get so hot with all the lights in there. So whenever I watch like a moment where he's doing a chase scene with the green screen on a Bond movie, I'm just sitting there going, "Are his pants off?" Yeah.
It must be. It's just shirt tails and garter socks.
Right where my mind goes. He must not have any pants on right now, right? You know.
I'm just gonna assume that if I ever see a scene in which Sean Connery is driving, there are no pants.
Well,
that makes every movie better.
I don't know if Sean Connery would be working in these times. Something that I've heard a lot of women actually tell me is that there's an interview where Sean Connery said that. I forget the exact context. I'm sure I'm gonna Google search away before everyone gets mad at me. He thinks it's okay to
hit a
I think
woman,
murder
who
a
deserves-
woman.
Yeah,
I think is what he said, right?
He said we should
Hit a man,
kill
murder
all the
the
women.
women.
We
Once they
don't
give
need-
birth, murder. No, he's something about like hitting
Problematic fave. Problematic fave.
Yeah, I don't think he would feel like if he had a Twitter, he'd be getting tweeted at a lot.
I don't think he's gonna come out of retirement.
Yeah, I wonder he played sexist, womanizing manipulator Bond so well.
He's already, yeah. Where else is there left to go?
I had the hardest time watching his old Bond films because I'm like, this guy is such a d-bag.
Aww. Classic Bond is not your kind of guy?
Nah, I'm like, he does everything right except when he's interacting with women. I'm not trying to sound like Mr. Progressive or anything like that. It's just as who I am today. When I watch that, I go, this is wrong. It's not right.
This is awkward.
Yeah.
We have progressed past
such
this.
an asshole. You know?
And though I understand that this is a time capsule, I still feel awkward.
It still feels weird because he's kind of the same guy, Bond. You know?
Stands to
They
reason.
just dial it down a little bit more, and then when they bring it back Inspector, you're like, oh god, it's weird. Entrapment, though, man, it's true. Like, he is someone, as he gets older, he gets more badass. He started in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which I think was his last live action performance. Even that movie, which was not a good film, but even in that, you're like, you don't question it. It's not like when you cast anybody else who's old for these movies. Where you go, aren't they kind of old to do that? You don't even think it. Like, you're too old. You're like, nah, Sean Connery, man.
Yeah. He's been badass. Like, like so many of us, I think, grew up with a contemporary Connery that was already older. So yeah, it's just like he's a staple of my life in that way. And yeah, I hadn't really thought of it, but I just associate him with being a badass.
Even when he plays old people, he's always so good. I forget what interview I heard him in a long time ago.
It was a slapping women interview.
It was a slapping women interview, which was a very inspiring interview outside of that one part. It was when he was just saying, like, you know, I just have a job to do. I go in there, I do my job. You feel that level of just conviction in a professional showing up on set, ready to do his thing. What I heard is that he didn't like working with Michael Bay of the way he does his camera work and everything like that. It's not really about performances. It's just like the camera's always freaking moving and stuff. And you got to imagine when you have an actor of the caliber of talent of Sean Connery who likes to perform, then you got this like hyper stylized editor, like because he's so good in The Rock. Yeah. When I hear that Sean Connery doesn't like working with Michael Bay because of his directing style, I'm like, yeah, I can believe that.
I totally get it. I totally believe it.
Actually makes a lot of sense to me.
And hey, maybe that tension helped, you know, the performance and whatnot.
He's got that uncanny ability, kind of like Arnold, except, you know, obviously better actor, where it didn't matter if he had a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
You just believed it anyway, you know? I've seen Highlander countless times, never like, what's up with his voice? He's
come from Spain.
Yeah. But in The Hunt for Red October, they establish it well, because they're all speaking Russian. And then they do this like pan-in shot on his mouth. They show that, okay, but when we're with them, we're going to hear them in English. You're not watching a bunch of subtitles, so we didn't have to teach Sean Connery Russian, you know?
Yeah, and in that way, I mean, I feel like that movie accounts for it pretty well. Weirdly, I saw The Hunt for Red October like a bunch of times as a child. For some reason,
that was one of my mom's favorite movies.
Yeah, it was one of my mom's favorite movies too growing up.
It seems so boring to me growing up.
I know.
Like a submarine
movie. And I feel like as a kid I was like, this should be thrilling. They're in a submarine.
Yeah, I was always so bored when I was watching it. Yeah.
I'd be curious to revisit it now. The Rock and Entrapment often blur together in my mind, and there's no really good reason for that other than they came out of a certain specific nebulous blob of time. And I think I saw both on airplanes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw The Rock twice in the theaters, man.
Really?
Yeah, that was a freaking awesome movie.
It's pretty cool.
I gotta say, you know, I think my favorite one is him as Indy's father.
Oh,
I gotta say, like, what's fascinating to me too is that arguably out of all these choices, it's like you expect that movie to be on this list, and out of all these choices, that's the least tough one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, Indy's the tough one, you know? Like, he shoots people, and he's like, what the hell? He's like shocked by this.
Oh, yeah, they have that shot where he pulls him out, and he's like clutching his bag, and he just looks totally fish out of water.
Like the tough thing he does is with the birds with the umbrella or something. Yeah. Yeah, like he gets stern and everything, like father tough. He stands up, whatever. But like Indy's the tough action hero, and he's not. But somehow their chemistry is just beautiful in that movie.
Yeah, man. Called The Dog Indiana.
Untouchables is probably my second favorite performance of his. He is amazing in that. Typical Dago.
Yeah.
I'm Italian. I can say it.
I'm part Italian too.
You're not Italian enough.
Nah, yeah, I know. You're the gatekeeper. Because you're the more Italian
you gotta be like a big you know, it's gonna be a big part of your life.
As I recall, you're not as Italian as you thought you were. So,
I'll have you know,
Mr. High Horse.
I grew up with Italians.
My grandma came from Italy. Come on now.
No, doesn't matter.
All right.
Just stop saying the N-word, John. Hey, Mikhail, I thought I was going to be looking at a list where I'm like, what is this for majority? But it was pretty much most of those movies, actually. Yeah, it was fun to revisit, man.
Yeah, man.
He was a legend. He was a legend. Mm-hmm. He is a legend.
Yes, he's still around.
See, it's a good thing he disappeared before the movements.
Yeah.
Before all this had time to resurface on the internet.
Yes. If he said that, I gotta at least imagine that he's hit several women, which is...
Not funny. Why are we laughing about this?
Well, because you imagine an alternate reality now where, like, Sean Connery is the Cosby of our time.
I don't think that bad.
You did an interview in which you said, it's not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist, it's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good.
You don't think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
Well, what would merit it?
Well, if you have tried everything else, and women are pretty good at this, they can't leave it alone. They don't want to have the last word, and you give them the last word, but they're not happy with the last word. They want to say it again, and get into a really provocative situation. Then, I think it's absolutely right.
What would...
What?
That was an editing.
Oh. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's end it there. You make your own opinion. I've actually never seen that interview, and it's worse than I actually thought of how he said it. God,
that was pretty awkward.
That was pretty. That's
awkward.
Pretty awful.
That's pretty bad.
Oh man, that just makes you kind of question all of Sean Connery, doesn't it?
Well, that's the thing is, yeah, I think if he was still in the spotlight,
this would be going everywhere. Yeah,
there would at least be some kind of domestic violence claim, at the very least. Like, I don't know if he would have sexually assaulted anybody given the movements that we're dealing with now.
No, like that's it's an uncomfortable thing.
It's all nasty.
All right, guys. Well, subscribe to the Reject Nation and click that notification bell and check us out on Patreon. We got a whole bunch of goodies. Thanks, Mikhail. Oh, Mikhail!
Mikhail Linden!
Around Christmas time, Mikhail increased his pledge because he wanted us to react to this video. I want to say thank you, buddy. He's our awesome, hunky-dunky man from Sweden. He's rich, ladies. If all the Swedish female fan base is watching, he's rich, so jump on it. He was saying that, and he said Merry Christmas.
Oh,
but he said as in Sweden, he sent us an audio of how to say it. And here it's spelled G-O-T-T space N-Y-T-T space A with a O above it.
Oh, yeah, I forget what that thing's called, but yeah, those are fun.
A bubble R.
A bubble.
And you pronounce it Gotnie.
Gotnit or.
Gotnit or.
Nope, Gotnie.
Are we sure? I like had it, and then we started doing this, and I was like, what is it again?
I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Okay.
Just like Sean Connery is in that Barbara Walters. I'm trying to jump on the bandwagon of the movement of comedians, you know, protesting.
Oh, yeah.
They should be allowed to make
comedy.
jokes.
Comedy should be a license to say anything you want with no repercussions.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to respond to comedians.